The 1970s were the peak of the muscle car era, when big engines, bold looks, and straight-line speed took center stage. This was the time when American car makers built some of the fastest, most exciting cars ever to hit the streets. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 quickest muscle cars of the 1970s, with real quarter-mile times, horsepower stats, and rare models that gearheads still dream about today. Let's take a look at these cars and see why the 1970s were such an exciting time for American muscle. Let's kick off the list at number 10 with a true classic, the 1971 Dodge Charger Super Bee HEMI. In 1971, Dodge moved the Super Bee onto the Charger platform, giving it a longer, wider, and more aggressive look. But it wasn't just about style. Under the hood sat the legendary 426 cubic inch HEMI V8, one of the most iconic engines of the muscle car era. Dodge built 5,054 Charger Super Bees that year, but only 22 of them came with the HEMI. Even rarer, just 9 units were equipped with the 4-speed manual transmission, making this car a true collector's dream. According to Motor Trend magazine, December 1971, the Super Bee HEMI could go from 0 to 60 in just 5.7 seconds, run the quarter mile in 13.73 seconds at 104 miles per hour, and had a top speed of around 142 miles per hour. That's serious speed for a car over 50 years old. Coming in at number 9, we've got a true underdog with big power, the 73 Pontiac Trans Am SD 455. At a time when muscle cars were being hit hard by strict emissions rules and fuel shortages, Pontiac delivered one last blast of high performance. The SD in SD 455 stands for Super Duty, and it wasn't just a name. This engine was built tough. It came with forged pistons, a strengthened block, a more aggressive camshaft, and big valve cylinder heads. Pontiac rated the engine at 310 horsepower and 390 pound-foot of torque, but many experts believe it was underrated. Real output was likely closer to 370 plus horsepower. According to Hot Rod magazine in 1973, the SD 455 blasted through the quarter mile in 13.54 seconds at 104.3 miles per hour. Only 252 of these cars were made, and just 72 came with a manual transmission, making them extremely rare. At number 8, we have the powerful and underrated 1970 Pontiac GTO 455 HO. In 1970, General Motors finally dropped its limit on engine size for mid-size cars, and Pontiac wasted no time. The result? The GTO 455 High Output, also known as the 455 HO. This beast came with a massive 455 cubic inch V8, pushing out 360 horsepower and a wild 500 pound-foot of torque, making it one of the highest torque ratings of any muscle car at the time. The engine used a 10.25 to 1 compression ratio, higher than the standard 455's 8.4 to 1, and featured performance upgrades like larger valves, stronger internals, and improved breathing. According to Muscle Car Review, the 1970 GTO 455 HO could run the quarter mile in just 13.53 seconds, putting it firmly in the high-performance category. While it often gets overshadowed by more famous GTOs like the Judge, the 455 HO version delivered real muscle in a sleeper-style package. It had the torque to roast tires at any speed, and the looks to back it up. Taking the 7th spot is the bold and brutal 1971 Ford Mustang Mach 1 429 Super Cobra Jet, also known as the 429 SCJ. This year marked the Mustang's first major redesign. It got bigger, heavier, and more aggressive in appearance. But Ford made sure performance stayed front and center. The top dog in the lineup was the 429 cubic inch Super Cobra Jet V8, which came with the drag pack option. That meant 375 horsepower, a massive 450 pound-foot of torque, and heavy-duty parts like solid lifters, a beefed-up crank, and oil cooler for durability. Pair it with a 4-speed top-loader manual transmission, and you've got a true street brawler. According to Motor Trend, SCJ Mustangs could run the quarter mile in 13.4 seconds at 105 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest factory Mustangs of its time. Only around 531 of these cars were built in 1971, which makes it extremely rare today. Rolling into spot number 6 is a true torque master, the 1970 Buick GS Stage 1 455. Don't let the Buick badge fool you. This car meant business. Under the hood was a massive 455 cubic inch V8, officially rated at 360 horsepower, but the real star was its torque, a jaw-dropping 510 pound-foot, one of the highest ever in a muscle car. Buick offered 3 engine options for the GS that year, but the Stage 1 was the top performer. It came with bigger valves, a more aggressive cam, higher compression, and a tuned Rochester quadrajet carb. According to Motor Trend, January 1970, the GS Stage 1 could rip through the quarter mile in just 13.38 seconds at over 105 miles per hour. It wasn't easy to get one either. Just 2,465 units were built in 1970, and only 664 had a 4-speed manual. At number 5, we've got one of the most iconic names in Mopar history, the 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner HEMI. Built for drivers who wanted maximum performance at a reasonable price, the Roadrunner was all about power and attitude. In 1970, the most extreme version came with the legendary 426 cubic inch HEMI V8, making 425 horsepower and 490 pound-foot of torque. What really made this car stand out was the air grabber hood, a power-operated trapdoor that opened to reveal a huge air scoop with a shark cartoon, activated by a switch under the dash. It wasn't just for looks. It helped feed more air to the engine for better performance. According to real-world tests at the time, the HEMI Roadrunner could crush the quarter mile in just 13.34 seconds, reaching speeds over 107 miles per hour. Only 152 units were produced in 1970, including 75 hardtops, 74 coupes, and just 3 convertibles, making it extremely rare today. Taking the number 4 spot is one of the most legendary muscle cars ever built, the 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS 454 LS6. This car was the king of the streets in its time and still holds a special place in muscle car history. Under the hood was the mighty 454 cubic inch LS6 V8, rated at a massive 450 horsepower and 500 pound-foot of torque. It had a high-lift camshaft, 11.25 to 1 compression, aluminum pistons, and a Holley 4-barrel carb sitting on an aluminum intake, all from the factory. That made it the most powerful production engine Chevy had ever offered. In performance tests, the Chevelle SS LS6 could launch from 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds and blaze through the quarter mile in just 13.12 seconds. Only 4,475 units were produced with the LS6 engine in 1970, making it both fast and collectible. This next one might surprise you. Ford's 1971 Torino Cobra SCJ was an underrated powerhouse with serious drag strip power. This wasn't your average family car, it was a full-on street weapon disguised in a fastback body. The Cobra model featured slick NASCAR-inspired styling, and under the hood was the optional 429 cubic inch Super Cobra Jet V8. It packed 375 horsepower and 450 pound-foot of torque. But as with many muscle cars of the era, it was likely underrated. The SCJ package included solid lifters, a Holley 780 CFM carburetor, 11.3 to 1 compression, and Ford's drag pack with a rear oil cooler, built for serious speed. According to the 1971 Supercar Annual, this car could rip through the quarter mile in just 13.3 seconds, reaching 106 miles per hour. Only a small number were produced, making it a rare find today. Sliding into second place is a true Mopar legend, the 1970 Dodge Challenger RT SE 426 HEMI. This car combined pure muscle with a touch of luxury, making it one of the most desirable Challengers ever built. Under the hood was the famous 426 cubic inch HEMI V8, factory rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-foot of torque, though many believed it was even more powerful in real-world performance. According to Carcraft magazine, the Challenger could blast through the quarter mile in just 13.1 seconds at 107 miles per hour, lightning fast for a full-bodied street car of its time. The RT road track version delivered on performance, while the SE Special Edition trim added features like leather trim, a vinyl roof, and upscale touches. But don't let the comfort fool you. This car was a monster on the street and the strip. It also earned legendary status thanks to the real-life Black Ghost, a street racing icon owned by Detroit cop Godfrey Qualls, who drove a black HEMI Challenger to underground fame. And finally, at number 1, we have the fastest muscle car on the list, the 1970 Plymouth Cuda 446 pack. This wasn't just a powerful car, it was a street-legal rocket. Under the hood sat a 440 cubic inch V8 with 3 two-barrel carburetors, also known as the famous six-pack. It produced 390 horsepower and a massive 490 pound-foot of torque, giving it explosive off-the-line speed. Backed by a 4-speed manual transmission, the Cuda 446 pack could tear through the quarter mile in just 13.0 seconds at over 105 miles per hour. An incredible number for a factory car in 1970. It also had a mean look to match its performance, with bold colors, shaker hoods, and aggressive styling that turned heads everywhere it went. Only 1,784 units were built that year, and of those, just 29 were convertibles, making it a true collector's prize today. And that wraps up our countdown of the quickest muscle cars of the 1970s. Raw power, rare builds, and pure American muscle. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more classic car content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next ride.